Hello everyone, welcome back to Restart with me, Jason Tardik. This place is a little bit of a mess. Actually, Caitlin was just sitting here not too long ago. We were doing an interview on GMA with Sarah Strahan. Now I'm using it to just collect things like my computer. I should probably clean this up before I get going. That being said, today we're talking about the golden rule. I am now doing some one-on-one consulting. You can go to jasontardik.com and book it. We are doing financial education and also career counseling, but I keep getting people asking a bunch of questions. They're asking me, where should I invest? Should I invest in penny stocks? Should I buy real estate? Should I do this? Should I do that? We break down their financial profile, and I am learning that they are buried in credit card debt. How can you be buried in credit card debt and then be worrying about an investment right now? That is where the golden rule comes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Getting rid of your credit card debt and stack ranking your debt so you understand what should be a priority and why it should be a priority. So first, let's get into consumer debt. All right, so before we break down the golden rule of paying down your damn credit card debt before anything, two quick things. One, do you like this painting that I just half-ass hung up? Got to work on the whole hang-up process. But this is a Goddard. I think this is number 209 of 500. We got a martini olive, chief in a stove with a martini, playing some blackjack. Life is good. The second thing is if you like some of this goofy, simple ways of breaking down things that we must know, please remember to like this video and subscribe. We'd appreciate it, and we will keep rolling new videos out. So back to the golden rule. Stop thinking about all the different investment options when you keep rolling over your credit card debt. Golden rule, get rid of your damn credit card debt. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give an example of consumer debt in general. And I know there are some people watching from all over the world. And of course, my favorite Canada, given Caitlin. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. I love Canada. You guys are amazing. I'll be candid. I need to brush up on some of my Canadian financial literacy and statistic. So I'm going to work on that. But to give everyone perspective, let's talk about consumer debt in the United States. Consumers hold over $14 trillion of consumer debt. Jason, cool. That's crazy. 14 trillion bucks. What's consumer debt? That's us. That's people. So as a population, we as individuals are holding over $14 trillion in consumer debt. Let's talk about the breakdown. We majority of the time think about consumer debt as mortgage loans, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. So I have a wild question. You'll probably never be able to guess. But which of all of these forms of consumer debt is the most expensive? Okay, I'm done. The answer is credit card debt. And I bet majority of you guys already knew that, especially because I keep saying, get rid of your damn credit card debt. But the next question I have for you is why? Why of all these loans, credit card debt, auto loans, student debt, mortgage, why is credit card debt the highest? It's a really simple business model that is run by the banks. When the banks lend money, what they do is they have a strict value of what is the risk versus the return, okay? Now, think about it. If I am going to lend Jason, let's say $200,000 to buy a house, bank gives Jason $200,000. Jason goes and buys an asset that's worth $200,000. They take lien over the house. That's their collateral. If I don't pay them back, they have an asset that's typically appreciating that can generate the money back for them. So they'll likely make the money from any interest I've paid them, and they have this asset that's actually worth the value. And usually what happens is there's something called loan to value. They lend less than the house is worth. So they're fully covered. They almost eliminate their risk unless crazy things happen like the mortgage crisis. We'll tackle that another time. But then let's think about a credit card. Jason goes and he buys his painting, he buys his shirt, he buys 50 wings over at Buffalo Wild Wings, and then I don't pay back. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to come to me and say, give me those 50 wings back? Are they going to rip this painting that I just hung right off my freaking wall? No, they're not. It's a write-off. So it's higher risk. It's unsecured. There's no collateral. So the more secure a bank loan is, the less interest one will pay. The less secure a bank loan is, the higher interest one will pay. Therefore, by far of all this consumer debt, credit card debt will be your most expensive debt. And if you don't get out of it, it will bury you. So let's practice this golden rule and get rid of your damn credit card debt. So the first thing you're going to do is create a debt table. What's a debt table? A debt table is outlining all of your debt with the interest rate that you're paying on that debt. And it's going to allow you to prioritize how you're making payments. Once you understand and see on paper the difference in interest rates that you are paying for those balances, it's going to go back to the golden rule of stop worrying about all the different investment activity when and if you have credit card balance. Now we want to come up with different strategies of how we can accelerate this pay down. So let's start talking about strategies now that we know that credit card debt is our most expensive debt. Now that we've realigned our debt priorities, we know that we have to make credit card debt the priority. So we have to strategize what we can do to accelerate this pay down. One of the easy things to do right now, if you have federal student loans, is take the money that you were paying for those student loans, which has been pushed off, and immediately apply it to the principal. Another idea, suppose you have equity in your house. You could actually take a home equity line of credit, which is supported by the collateral of your house, which will have a lower interest rate, and then you can take that sum of money and pay off the whole principal of your actual credit card loans. Now, I'm not saying this is the answer for everyone, but another strategy is even lending against your 401k to pay off your credit card balances. The reason I would ever suggest that is just the difference in pricing. If you have collateral of your 401k, the lending rate will be lower, and therefore you can eliminate your credit card debt, which is costing you over 20%. So it's not a one size fits all, but once you have outlined your debt values and the amount you're paying for them via a table, you can start to strategize how you can get the principal of that credit card paid down. All right, I got another secret. Shh. On Wall Street Journal, they just put an article out that millions of Americans are skipping their credit card payments. Now, I'm not telling you to skip your credit card payment. I'm telling you to restructure your debt, realign your priorities and behaviors to pay your damn credit cards off. However, this could be utilized as a strategy because delinquency on credit cards right now is higher than ever. So credit card companies do not want their credit balances going delinquent because that's how they make their money. They make it off swipes and interest. So give your credit card company a call today and ask them if you can defer your payment for a few months. This will give you time and energy to reprioritize and realign how you're going to pay these suckers off as soon as possible. Question I have for you. Do you have a credit score over about 680, 690, or 700 with decent income coming in? If you do, right now, there are introductory 0% APR credit cards out there that will allow you to transfer your credit card debt. And by doing that, if you're currently paying an interest rate of, let's say, 20%, you could then transfer the balance onto a 0% card and then restructure your payments to ensure that that full balance is paid off by the time that 0% interest rate comes to an end. So it's just another strategy of restructuring your debt to make sure you are doing whatever it takes, any which way possible, then avoiding the 20 to 25% interest payments on a monthly basis. The golden rule here is pay off credit card debt that is rolling before you're thinking of any other financial literacy strategy, investing opportunity, etc. We're going to make that a priority. And paying it off is both an art and a science. It's a blueprint, it's an architecture, and it's also a mosaic. The thing is that you have to strategize how to make sure that principal is paid down and that you are not paying that interest rate through different mechanisms and structure. The art becomes the behavior. Once you have actually fixed the structural issues, you have to internally look at your behaviors. What is actually driving that credit card balance to increase? Why do you have an existing balance? Why has it been rolled over? So we are going to first put a science in place that's going to make it a priority, that we are going to pay down, and then we need to look at the actual behaviors of ourselves and why we are spending what we're spending. So our next episode, we're going to talk about behavioral-based budgeting. But for now, before you start asking me about investing and everything else that goes with it, let's pay down your damn credit card debt. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Restart. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.